running a few minutes behind, family. Bear with me while I get everything together. We want to send out the black signal. And then we will start the show. Hopefully it's streaming. Now, I don't look like it's streaming, so you should have got the message to join me on the Spreaker channel. Because Spreaker, we always do a little bit better. I usually am a little bit more prepared, but I didn't expect to have to use my mic for the phone, which it appears I need to be able to do. I thought I put my mic back. I did put my mic back. So, y'all get back. We'll get back to the high quality next week. And Restreamio is cutting out. Is acting up. So we won't be able to stream on the Facebook piece. So I'm going to go and shut the Facebook off for a second. I'm going to try one more alternative to it. Let's do this. I'm going to try. Let's experiment with Pivo since this is not working anyway. Experiment with the Pivo. We didn't invest it, so let's go and see if it'll work for us. Where you at? Alright. So let's connect. But now I just lost the link to the what it is. Let's go on. Now, the idea of this show, of course, is the Daily Toast. So let's go on. And we're going to focus on getting the toast out regardless. Those that's out there that's been toasting with me for a while, you know what we're supposed to be doing. So we're going to start with the water song. I thought we was going to start with the water song.
Mr. Diddy.
Drinking water. Fading in and out. Yeah, but I left the message up on the line to let family know that they can reach me up at our Spreaker app, which you are on, Brother Kwame. Not quite the app yet, but we are working on getting that Apple app together. Let me go and post up just in case the posts can go through. I want to paste where we are so people can tune in on the podcast. Always remember, the podcast is the main way that you can get us. It has been the most faithful of all of the services we have had. So we want to remain faithful to it. All right? So the podcast is the number one platform off of which you can get us. And you can find us at Spreaker.com. All right, just look up Hot Tim. Hot Tim, HA2TIM. So we got a small news article, ran through real quick because I only got a couple minutes because I think these young men, they supposed to be coming through, but they was up late last night. But I got a news story I want to hit real quick. But then also I got to tell y'all, man, last night I went to the Sweat Lodge and got my ass kicked. Let me tell you, listen. This is the second time, maybe the third time I had to get up and walk out of a Sweat Lodge. For ever since I went to New Mexico, I was blessed by through Elder Gaylord and Simba, I was sent to the gathering, and we had a Sweat Lodge at Brother Albino's crib. Listen, that motherfucker was hot. Well, I prayed, and the only way I made it through was prayer. Well, anyway, it was so hot that it burnt my fingers. I had to crawl out the Sweat Lodge, and then they did a dance ceremony, Aztec dance ceremony for us, and I could barely move the whole time. We just sat there, and ever since then I've been having challenges going in, and sometimes I could push through. A lot of times I could push through, but it's those few times that I can't push through that you know what I'm saying? It's like, I have a panic attack, and I have to get up and get out. And this time, I was sitting down. We went through one. They call them doors, so they close the door. We sing songs. The sweat leader does a prayer and does a couple of songs, and he invite us, if it's at Simba, he invite us to do song. So we did the song, and door opened, and I was relieved, right? And son said, "You need to get out now, man. You need to get out now." And I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna make this prayer. I'm gonna make this prayer cycle right here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this." I sat there, and they brought in about 20. It was already 10 rocks in, and they brought 10 more rocks in. And it wasn't that it was too hot at that point in time, but when that door closed and the water started, and I tried to sing, I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to do it." So I gave the signal so that I could get out, and it's it's humbling. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, it's like I said, I see my brother. He walked by me. I said, "Man, I want to see my ancestors, but I don't want to see them from the Sweat Lodge." I'm just, I don't want to meet them at the Sweat Lodge. We got a lot of work to do, and it's like, cause it's such a pressure that comes on you, or at least on me. Let me talk for me. When when I have those attacks, and like I said, and they mainly are in the Sweat Lodge like that. But once again, I work through it, and I get back to a point where I could sweat. Again, maybe even this before we leave. But we are one day down, and hopefully y'all out there, supporting the Simbas, keeping up with the pictures on Rescue, Release, and Restore. I got a bunch that I got to go on and finish. Y'all know I try to do the little fancy stuff that I wanted to get up for y'all so that y'all can see, and we're going to write about the camp in the newsletter. But we're going to do what we came here to do. Brother Kwame said, "Hope you got my text telling you I'll be out there tomorrow as scheduled." Cool. Looking forward to it, Kwame. Looking forward to it. Come on out. And let's work. Come on and do some work with some of these young people, man. Family, listen. If you don't support Rescue, Release, and Restore, you know what I'm saying? You need to do so. This is a good work. It's a great work. And mean, it's family. You know what I'm saying? We out here doing the thing with our children. You know what I'm saying? Because there's stuff happening all over. We're doing something specifically for our children, our young men and women, because there's a sister organization as well. What is that on my speaker? Lord have mercy. Sorry, I had to take a station break. We had an intruder. All right, family. But now, so let's go and do this toast so I get out here and get ready for these young people. Try to get my mind right, because you already know I have a sleeping issue. Y'all know that too, and I fell asleep on the goddamn air before. So, it will be no surprise to anyone that I have a sleeping issue. Well, it shouldn't be, right? So, we're going, also, we did the climbing wall yesterday and the zip line. So we're going to have, after I go to rescue release from store, y'all can see that. You know, and the brothers did real good, man. I'm talking about real good. I think all of the young men that went with us took the challenge to go up the wall. And even old brother Hot Tim got up and climbed up the wall, right? So it was nice. The chants are coming along. So now, actually, hopefully, somebody will live stream one or at least record one, because the chants are getting better. The young people are coming around and they're home now. The major issue that will be going down today is that we are approaching breakdown time. You know what I'm saying? Because we're reaching a period where, you know, after all this good food and all this good praise, you know what I'm saying, it's time to come back to the world. So at this point in time, in the libation, you know what I'm saying, while we pouring libation, we want to pour libation for all the young people that will be going home. And we don't know all the situations for all of the young people, but we know that after having a good time and not being able to come back to it again, there can be some fight, you know, some fight to hang on to it, or some fight to disrupt it. But that's one of the beauties of when you start doing a process like this, because you start getting ready for this type of stuff. You know what's coming. This is a beautiful thing, family. So, like I said, if you have a young man, far as you know, a rites of passage process, this is one of, if not the best. Now, of course, you know, we do our camping trips too, but it's kind of hard to reduplicate what happens totally here. You know what I'm saying? Because this happens on the campground. What we do happens, we in actual woods. So, you know, it's a different process. It's a beautiful process, but it's nothing quite like this, because people come from all over, in a sense, to share with Simba. Simba is internationally known. You know what I'm saying? So, and has expansive family with different skills. All right. So, you know, big ups. Shouts out to Elder Gaylord. You know what I'm saying? So let's go and get this toast popping. Let me finish this water. Now, I only did 32 ounces. This is 16 ounces. So let me go and do 32, and then we'll get started. So while we're waiting for me to finish that, let's go and look up at this. Or look at this foolishness here. So they sign me out, but then they allow my video to play, which will disrupt everything. So I'll let Deshaun know you coming up, Kwame, and try to make some arrangements, because I'm trying to figure out, you know what time you coming? Because we need to go on and arrange for the elder. Maybe we might need to do that on Kaumba. We could organize, because while we got our meeting, while we're having our meeting, maybe we could get some young people to do that if we're not able to do it tomorrow. A lot of stuff going on. But make sure you drink your water, because remember, it's hard for us to toast our ancestors and celebrate our ancestors if we are not healthy. While I'm waiting for this story to come up. Those who have been listening for the last few years, y'all know that usually when I do Simba, my voice is hoarse. But like I said, as you, and I'm, I guess I can't even say I laugh about it because I've never experienced this, but I'm actually changing. You know what I'm saying? I love the chant, but I can't do it like I used to. You understand what I'm saying? It's like as you get older, things start changing. I start looking at things in a different way, and I guess that's good. But change is always hard. It's always hard. You know what I'm saying? So we'll finish this water up and let's do this toast. The reception for the Wi-Fi is not allowing the article to pop up, but it's up on. You said we're leaving home about 12:30, which should put us there at about 1:30. That's beautiful. Elder Tony will be out here tomorrow about maybe about 4 or so. We're going to be having the Council of Elders tomorrow too, because tomorrow is, in a sense, that's the last night where the initiation ends and the reintroduction to society begins. Some will have entered as young men and leave as Simbas, which is a beautiful moment for some of them. So, well, it's really a beautiful moment for everybody, because I'm pouring some of the ambrosia back, because y'all know I got a limited supply. While we out in the woods, I got a very limited supply here. Let's see, I want to reconnect that. Yeah, I got to go back and reconnect some stuff, but I want y'all to see that the article that they're talking about, right now, or that I'm talking about right now. All right, they won't let me sign in, but let me see if I can get the article anyway. The article that I posted up is new inequality numbers are a gift to campaign sloganers. This is from Bloomberg. Now, some of these numbers are amazing. Amazing. Listen, new inequality numbers are a gift to a campaign sloganer. The Fed developed a data set that throws wealth disparities into high relief. Now, I just want y'all to listen to some of this. Studying wealth and income inequality has long been the stumping grounds of economists, with the time and willingness to dig into the 19th century tax ledgers, Gilded Age stock ownership, and pre-Great Depression bank holdings. Let's get that part. It goes, America is richer than ever. This is one for the incumbent to tout. Americans have never been wealthier. Household assets, listen to this, are at an all-time high with a total value of $117.6 trillion. Total net worth assets minus liabilities is $102.5 trillion. Liabilities, primarily home mortgages, are $9.7 trillion, or 70%. and consumer credit is 3.6 trillion, or 26%, make up most of the 15.1 trillion of total liabilities. All right, now but let's go and look. I want y'all to, because we need to dig in these numbers. So some of y'all get your pens out. Relative to these assets or to the discretionary income, debt levels at present are very manageable. They are substantially lower than they were before the financial crisis. In fact, household debt service and financial obligation ratios are lower since this data series began 30 years ago. All right, so debt, they're saying debt has went down, but let's go and look at this. In other words, American households are both richer and carry lower debt burdens, lowering a huge source of both economic and psychological stress. But, y'all know what's coming. But, listen, America is for the rich. An issue for the challengers. Yes, America is wealthier than ever, especially if you are in the top 10% of households. Now, what does it take to be in the top 10%? Let's look at this. The Fed found that the top 1% of America households held wealth of $32.5 trillion. Now, remember that number up top, right? About 117. Let's average about 117. 32.5 trillion of that is held by 1%. They won't tell you the percentage right now, but you got to work that percentage out for yourself. But we know that's close to a third. That's the top 1%. That works out to be an average of household assets and values of $25 million each. That's on average, not the median. The rest of the top 10%, that's top 1% hold about 25, average 25 million. The rest of the top 10%, that's the 90th to 99th percentile. Y'all come in. Held total wealth of 42.8 trillion. So now, top 1%, 32.5. Top 10% hold 42.8. Add the top 1% to this group, and we get a total of $75.3 trillion. Now, I want to go back up to that number up top, and I just want y'all to hear this. So there's 117.6 trillion total. The top 10% is holding 75.3 trillion of that. The top 10%, with an average household wealth of about 5.8%. So when they throw that 1% in with that 9%, get the top 10%, numbers spread out a little bit more. So top household wealth is $5.8 million, right, in the top 10%. To be sure, this is an average, and it's skewed by the enormous wealth of those at the very top. The median or midpoint would be lower. All right. The next 40% has a total of 35.3 million. Okay. So guess how much that leaves for the bottom family? Are y'all ready for this? So the next 40%, so the top 50% are holding over 100 trillion. So what does that leave? The bottom share about 1.3% of the wealth. And unfortunately, a lot of us are in that bottom family. A lot of us in that bottom. So let's look at this. Where things get interesting is when we look at the bottom 50% of the households in America by wealth. They own assets, not liquid, of 6.86 trillion. That reflects wealth before liabilities, or mere $107,000. They said a mere. I ain't got no $100,000. But hey, must be good to be in America like that. But family, just throwing out the wealth numbers when we start talking about this reparation thing. All right, so now let's go to our toast real quick because the young men are here. I got 2 minutes. Y'all know we can't do this in no 2 minutes. So let me get these young men in here so we could do this. You say who?
You sound tired.
Yeah, man, I got chased out the sweat lodge last night, family.
By what?
By fear. Shit.
How many rocks was in there?
20?
Even 20.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Y'all supposed to push beyond whatever I did. So.
I did mine. I did my warrior sweat.
Did your warrior sweat?
In Wisconsin.
Huh?
In Wisconsin, I did my warrior sweat with Larry, Shamar, Jarvis.
Where's this at?
Huh?
Where was this at? You ain't sweat?
Wisconsin.
You sweat yesterday?
Yeah, I sweated yesterday, but I did the regular. But I did at Wisconsin. I did my warrior sweat.
Congratulations. Good job.
They put like 40 rocks in there.
You said 40 rocks?
The last one.
Y'all hear that?
AJ was asleep. His son gave us the rocks, and Devin was in there that was throwing the water.
Ah, okay. So we got the young man, and it's good today. I mean, y'all do your thing. Y'all do your thing. Push it to the next level. That's your job. All right, so I'm going to do my toast real quick. All right, family, first giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We lift up our glass, and we salute, and we say, Ashe. From there, we move on to our list of our ancestors. Yeah, go ahead and help yourself to my snacks. I'm just joking. Go ahead. Give me off. Next, we raise our glass. Hey, I'm over here. Come on. My camera like you, man.
Yeah, I see that.
What's going on, man? What? This racism? Oh, man, Pretty Ricky done came in and stole the camera. All right, hold on. We're going to raise our glass to our ancestors, and here we go. Miles Brown, Miss Ann Robin, the Texas, Anna Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, Georgia William, Walter, Kristen Fanny, Gaston, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Finn, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Avar Brown, Jenny Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallar, Montague Pittman L, Nomo X, Pat Mott, Ron Malika Fakour, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling Lucy, right there, Gail Pulley, and the Luster Brothers, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Miss Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Rendelman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kelly D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Ware, Levita Farmer, Augusta Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Meg Esther Keachler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow Slimmy, Selman Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Farrell Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bolden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kenty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quails, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quails, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon. Hey, go tell your brother to come here and make some coffee, man. Urania Thornton, Bernice Quails, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Barham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Amitep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Daniel Triggs, Thompson Lula Berry, Lacey Eleanor Howe, Frank Russell Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Phoenix Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico Russell, Delimont Aries, Gina, Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan. Let me see what's going on here. All right. We still offline. All right, that's cool. William Walter West, Nigel Paris, Elder C.G. Filani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Denise Waters, DeFridas Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scanterbury, Wilson Haley, Elma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Kevin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Russell Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nayland Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Danny Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Simpson Ball, Hazel Gasson, Jerry Bradley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, Uncle Buki, also known as Gypsy, Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacey Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irvin, Judy Helber, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Keys. You said you had some names you need to add?
I did, yes.
You added it? Okay. Ronald Irvin, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavis, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie, Harriet Tubman, Kate, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Eno Baby Hatchett Sr., Melly Miller, Halsey Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Viola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Liddy Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Coper, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mae Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. He Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Manila, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlington Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Bradley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker Sr., Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Urban Sr., Michael Urban, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shechem Aha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson, Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Louis Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Mazarine Coper, George Swan, Emmanuel Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon. Reading from the family book, Joella Giles, James Carswell, Roberta Adams, also known as Aunt Sis, Elder Shaka McNair, Anthony Brown, Jonathan Ford, Lottie Gaucher, Cousin Tony, Michael Johnson, James Jimmy Johnson, Barbara Shane Lewis, Ronald Shelton Jr., Damian Top, Christina Banks, Joseph Bingham, Quincy, Mama Aunt Lady, Abraham Isaac, Cundiff, Aunt Barbara Lewis, Renee Johnson, Joy, Ryan Ross Riggins, Jamonte, Marcus Price, Ness Words, Marshawn McHale, Demetrius Beard, Herb Jefferson, Ralph Mickens, Eric Walker, Quasi Sample, Candace Simmons, Severin Clayton, Leonard Jones, Sade Garner, Melvin Scott Sr., Elder Clarence Lumpkin, Elizabeth Johnson, Smake Smith, Frank Smith, Stacey Trice, Nisa Goray, Nathaniel Hassan Turner, Khaled Essien, also known as Nigel Turner, Demetrius Lewis Flint, Alberta Woods, Geneva Simmons, Daniel Tilley, Angeline Gant, Sharifa, Oscar Kane, Audrey Gripper, Dominique Nichols, Ruth Elaine Johnson, Teresa Sambu, Aunt Maxine, Uncle James, Henry Monger III, and it's Tamara Dolly, like Baba Dolly. You know that's the Baba's last name, right? You ain't know that? All right. Tamari Dolly. I think it's Dowdy. Dowdy. Okay, all right. Isn't it? All right, cool. And Nicole Harris. Anybody got any ancestors they want to shout out or put on the list? Because I read the list every day. All right. So, family, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Oh, my fault. We ain't done. So we raise up our glass to our ancestors. Oh, you pretty motherfucker. Look at this. You done took my camera time. What's going on? I'm over here. I pay your bills. I pay your bills. You don't look at them. Don't look at them. Unbelievable. All right, so here we go, family. So we lift up our glass to our ancestors, and with a pleasure to toast them every morning. You know, we had the capabilities, even in the woods, to toast them. We raise our glass, we say Ashe. From there, family, we move to the present moment. Right now, in the moment, we are in the moment of Ujima. Keeping my word, we are going to read about the Ujima born this morning. So here we go. So right now, in this moment, what we want to do, we want to activate our reticular formations. For the young people behind me, what the reticular formation is the part of your brain that allows you to focus. We want to activate the reticular formation, and we want to seek out the principle of the day, which is Ujima. Everywhere we look, we want to see if we can identify our principle of the day. And that principle is Ujima. Right now, so for those that don't speak the language, Ujima means collective work and responsibility. The modic principle of the day is righteousness. The M7 of the day is respect. The color is blue. Got on my shirt, but we won't do light blue no more. We won't never do light blue. We won't do light blue no more. Vibration is the Hermetic law of the day. Male name for the day is Kwaku. Female name is Akua. We got any Ujima born in here today? Anybody here born in Ujima? No? All right, cool. So, let's get to the day born on Ujima. God image is Aku. Remember that in these day names, they have God names. So, according to the mythology or the story, on each one of the days, the Creator manifested itself in a different thing. So here we go. It says, I think the Baba is an Aku, is Ujima born. You are a sweet messenger. You have a great capacity for loving. You have the ability to master the environment, engage people in cooperative activities. You possess a sense of confidence, a sense of becoming more independent. You value a strong sense of individual differences and lack animosity and differences among people. You help people support one another in their difference. You can pull people together. You are willing to support your partner in what they want to do for themselves. You do not automatically allow your work to take precedence over the people with whom you share their lives. You feel comfortable in revealing yourself to mates or best friends. You can develop multiple success identities. You educate yourself from personal relationships that become chronologically destructive. You can intuitively pay attention to the needs of others and their loved ones. Can't read that word. Much of what you are known for is your ability to bring the message that is sweet to hear. You bring fame to others. We need some Ujima born. All right, so we raise up our glass to this present moment, saluting this moment, because in this moment, really, in all reality, this is all we got. So family, let's bring out the best in this moment. We say, Ashe. From there, we move to the future. We toast our children, our children's children. We're surrounded by children, even ones with masks over their face. I don't know what's wrong with that one. But we raise up our glass. Well, he ain't a child no more. He full grown. He got children himself. Wow. Dang, I remember. Wow, I'm getting old. All right, so we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From there, family, we move on to all of our relations. We want to toast all of our relations, everything around us. We lift up our glass. We say, Ashe. We move on. And family out there, I want to give you this moment. This is your selfish toast. What is it that you need to manifest what you need right now in this moment to be the greatest you possible? We lift up our glass. Got it? Ashe. Next, and last but not least, I toast the most magnificent, marvelous, beautiful, powerful, uplifting, inspiring individual in the room, and that's you. And we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right, family, I'm about to go and work with these young people. Y'all say what's up, Kwame? What's up, Kwame? And whoever else is out there, because my signal down, so I don't know who out there, but y'all, the family say what's up. So we about to get into what we supposed to get into today. All right. Nothing like that strong ambrosia. All right, family. So, Kwame, I see you tomorrow. It's those of you that might have a child with us, we'll be back on Nia. All right, so I'm out. Oh, my fault. I can't go out without this. You are now standing in the home of the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Of course, you know this is the Daily Toast, and this has been another Heart of a Simba production. Strive, strive, strive to blow up your old paradigm.